call it a major issue within Erie County government. It's not a budget or infrastructure crisis, but sexual harassment accusations. Good evening. As the Me Too movement brings claims of sexual misconduct into the spotlight, the 7 Eyewitness News I-team is doing extensive digging here at home.
Now, many of you have heard the most notable claim involving an Erie County official. We're talking about this man, Al Dershberger, and the rape charges filed against the former Erie County Social Services Commissioner in Albany just last week.
But as Chief Investigator Charlie Specht is uncovering, reports of unwanted sexual advances and off-color comments are all too common in Erie County government.
Those words aren't coming from Hollywood or Congress. They're from the mouths of people right here in Erie County. Government workers and taxpayers who say they've been sexually harassed by the people who are trusted to carry out the people's business. They're Democrats, Republicans, women and men, and their actions are costing you, the taxpayer, every day. But their stories, their allegations, have been mostly hidden from public view within these halls of power until now.
You have him touching you, like even on the shoulders. It's like, stop touching me.
Rita Escalante works at the Erie County Auto Bureau. She says it's there that she's witnessed a culture of harassment, starting with her old boss, who she says harassed female coworkers on a regular basis.
She was right next to me, and he like lifted up the side of her skirt, and I was like, oh my God, what are you doing?
She says some of the harassment came from other employees.
They just thought it was funny. It's okay to say things like that because it's acceptable, and it's not acceptable.
Escalante says she went as high as the acting county clerk to complain, but says nothing was ever done, so she filed a formal complaint with the State Division of Human Rights.
Because taking it to the county, they're not doing anything. Nobody's held responsible.
Now to the stunning charges filed against the former commissioner of social services here in Erie County.
It just makes you wonder, is there a larger problem with sexual behavior in local government?
And the county executive is now saying this is a non-issue.
When it comes to sexual harassment, we do not tolerate that in Erie County. And if there is a sexual harassment issue, we deal with it internally. And if somebody has to be fired, they're fired.
So Poland Cars is saying that this is not an issue, but Lynn Dixon and the Republicans are saying this is, in fact, a political issue that they have to take up.
We can't allow it to happen.
I'm troubled, quite honestly, by the amount of discrimination claims and how they're handled.
Okay, so that issue deals with 2 Erie County employees. There's actually a lawsuit that's been filed where a CPS investigator actually is accused of going after a taxpayer sexually.
And these allegations aren't just inside the Rath building. The sheriff's office is now facing accusations as well.
The county executive, the former county executive, the sheriff, and officials at the clerk's office all refused our interview requests to answer questions about the specific cases in this report. For Escalante, who claims a culture of harassment at the Auto Bureau, speaking out has taken a very personal toll.
I've had people come to me when I was downtown with their, complaints, and you'd have people like crying to me, and what can I do? I've done the best I could, but it's very, very stressful. It's very, it's just hard. It makes life harder.
Now keep in mind, these are just a few of the allegations that we found here. There are many more, and in many cases they're working their way through the legal system. Just an idea here of the culture at County Hall when it comes to harassment. In the Joe Murphy case, he was accused of sexual harassment 10 years ago. The county made the payout. Well, as we're reporting this story, he is one of the gatekeepers that we have to go through to get personnel information about sexual harassment, even to this day.
It shows just how entrenched this all is. Charlie, why do you think Rita wanted to come forward and bravely expose herself in this way?
Well, she says, you know, really the only way this type of thing changes is if one woman, one man after another finally steps up and says, this is my story, this is not acceptable. They're taking back their dignity one story at a time.
Very true. Charlie Speck, thank you for your work. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Charlie.